Hi everybody, good morning. Welcome to our emergency food pantry. We're here at the Brass House Centre where we've set up a whole load of parcels, which I'll show you in a moment, ready to give out to our pantry members. We're normally running this on a Monday and Thursday at the library, but today we're doing an emergency session. We normally charge £4 a week, but we're giving out free to our pantry members. They can't choose, they can't walk into the building, so we're just preparing some parcels for them right now. Let me just show you what we've got inside. We're just preparing parcels now. So these are the bags we've got. We've put in fruit. There's obviously some tin stuff. There's some Nutri-Grain bars. There's some whatever that is. We've got some ham in there. We've got their bread. We've got their coleslaw. We've got some veg. And then basically each one of these has been prepared. So we've got about 40 prepared today. And then what we then do as well is we add in some milk and we add in some frozen or fresh stuff. So we've got chickens here. We've got plenty of chicken. We've got some hams and stuff like that we can add as well. So, yeah, this is our operation. It's temporary, but we're really grateful to the community centre here. They've shut their doors because of coronavirus, but they've opened up for us to be able to do this. And then people are going to be queuing outside, and we're going to be having some self-distancing rules, and we've got tables where we can put the food and people stand a couple of metres away. So we're just keeping everything as safe as possible at this time. Served about 29 people at pantry, 29 people that... normally we pay £4 a week, but today we were giving them the free emergency parcel with a bit of fresh food and some frozen stuff. So where we are now, Food Bank has been running this afternoon, and we've just been asked to go to Morrison's at the Hagley Road, and I'm here at Morrison's waiting to get into the delivery area. The way the community is working together, this is St Albans Buds minibus that I'm in at the moment, which is not in use. So I'm using this minibus to go and collect some food. So again, just brilliant to see how the community in Smethwick is working together and how supermarkets like Morrison's have been really generous. I've been told to come here in this because it won't fit in my Land Rover. So it looks like it's going to be a big delivery, which would be really helpful at this time. So yeah, so we'll go back to Food Bank in a bit and see how things are going there. Basically at the moment, we're just sort of serving lots of people. We have 42 people having a food parcel, most of which were for families. So we served 29 people at pantry, so I can't do the maths at the moment. My head's not quite in the game for that, but that's a lot. It's over 70, isn't it? And we're now getting ready to sort of get ready for Friday, and we've been replenishing stock as well. And obviously you can see here there's plenty of stock to be replenished, so we're waiting for some deliveries from Global Foods. We're in conversations with British Gas and Sandwell Council using their vans as well. So actually some of the stuff I've just been doing now, I'm hoping in the next few weeks that's going to be done by others, which would be really helpful, so we don't have to ourselves find volunteers or use our own staff to go and get the food that we need. But some things are looking pretty good. If you're going to donate anything, can I just say please don't donate chickpeas. We have got lots of chickpeas. Hi everybody, I'm here at some Change Spaces at Holy Trinity. We've had a very, very busy day, incredibly busy, but a very, very rewarding day as well. And perhaps one of the things that spoke to me most today was seeing people coming to the pantry. You know, we're about 4 metres apart. We've been very, very safe, but having a chat with people as they were coming and people needing to chat. They didn't just need the food, they needed conversation and connection. And I was really blessed to see that people, even behind, who were waiting for food, they were patient enough to wait so people could have a chat and have a talk with, I think it was actually 30 people in the end that we served. One of the difficulties we've got at the moment is that in terms of our community response is keeping volunteers safe, and we only had 3 people at pantry and 4 people here at Food Bank today, and we know that's usually a lot more people wanting to volunteer and be part of that. And to be honest, it's a bit frustrating that we want volunteers but we actually can't use them at the moment. We have to do things a bit differently. So we're thinking about how can we do volunteering for the community at Raglan Road, and there's a few things that we'd like to think about. One is we're thinking about setting up a helpline. And that helpline would be something that could be set up, and then the number could be diverted to various people's mobile phones, and for people to ask for support, and we'll give people the list of things that they can tell people about, the emergency helplines for the council, where they can get food, if they need essential supplies, that sort of stuff. And we just want to maybe set that up so that people can receive calls, but also for people, of course, to make calls as well. So those people that need those friendly chats, that need that connection. We know it's something that our communities need just as much as our church members. So we want to look at how we can do that and facilitate that. And of course, we also need people to help with deliveries and help collect supplies and deliver supplies to people, something that I've been doing today. and we could do with more people helping us in that. We are having conversations with council and with companies such as British Gas to help us do that more effectively, but at the moment we need the church to be part of that collective effort, so if you can get involved in delivering and collecting, that would be really helpful. Just wanted to finish, I've been doing some prayer devotions through 24/7 prayer, something called Lectio 365, and found them really helpful in terms of just preparing me for the times that we're out and about. And this was one had recently, I think it was Saturday, just God's commandment to be strong and courageous. The reflection starts in Joshua 1:8-9, where it talks about keep this book of the law always on your lips, meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you'll be prosperous and successful. Have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous? Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. And the reflection that Pete Gregg talks about is that in China, where the word for crisis is made up of two characters, and the two characters, one means danger and one means opportunity. And in some ways it sums up this crisis pretty well. The danger of this crisis is really real. You know, we've got people affected in all sorts of different ways. You know, people unfortunately dying, people losing their jobs, the world heading for recession. And, you know, we're having to heed government advice to stay home and to protect the most vulnerable in our society. But the crisis is also an opportunity for the people of God and for us to be strong and courageous, to show love to the world that has been shaken to its core. And he mentions in the year 251 AD that a plague decimated the great city of Carthage. Its citizens were shuddering, fleeing, shunning the contagion. Carcasses were filling up the streets. And then in a famous sermon on Matthew 5:43-48, the great church father Cyprian urged the church to stay in the city, to care not just for other Christians, but also for their non-Christian neighbours who had actually recently been persecuting them. And Pete Gregg goes on to quote a guy called Rodney Stark, who in a book called Epidemics, Networks and the Rise of Christianity observed that the minority Christian community did not flee, but stayed to provide nursing, had a higher survival rate than their pagan neighbours, and the pagans who had been nursed through the crisis by Christians were likely to be open to a faith that, unlike their own, had worked. So the prayer then was to ask the Lord for courage, in spite of our nerves, to reach out to other people today. So I just wanted to finish with a video which Sarah shared with me and made me aware of, and sums up a lot where I think we need to be as a church right now. So it comes from an organisation called The Normal Christian Life, and hopefully we'll speak again soon. And thanks again for your ongoing prayers and support, and watch this video.
The church has often been called a hospital for the sick. And the Western world is more sick than ever before. Not just with COVID-19, but with a pandemic of fear.
Likely end up infecting most people in the world.
Very concerning.
You're concerned?
Very.
Coronavirus panic shopping.
Yet for the first Sunday in history, many church buildings look like this.
Virus has church after church
Dozens
canceled
canceled
Sunday services because of the outbreak.
Will be suspended.
What does this mean for the church and for the world? If the church is a building, then what happens when they're closed? If it's an event, then what happens when they're cancelled? And how do we respond in a world that has never looked so shaken? But could this actually be the church's finest hour? To be what the Bible calls us to be? Because the church isn't a building, and it's not an event. You see, even in the midst of this unprecedented global pandemic,
I just want one pack.
this is the church.
There's no toilet paper in the entire store. We are handing out toilet paper. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
In the midst of the fear, this is the church. In the midst of isolation, this is the church. The church is awakening. The church is resilient. The church is adapting and discovering new expressions for the gospel to reach further than ever before.
We've got a total lockdown. Our church, we're going to gather over Zoom, and then we're actually going to FaceTime our friends and family and share the gospel.
I'm checking to see if my neighbors need supplies or prayer, and I'm also using Facebook to reach out to those that I can't get to.
Riding home on street corners.
Where fear seems to be crippling, there is a hope in Jesus Christ.
Everyone can do this right now. Be the church.
In a troubled world that needs Christ, It's time to be his hands and feet. Christians, it's time to be the church.